So as you probably heard by now, the Giants yesterday had their second preseason game. You saw it. You saw the highlights, whatever. You've heard Daniel Jones, a complete disaster in his one and only appearance this preseason. Next time he steps on the field, it's going to count. Let's just keep that in mind. He went 11 for 18, 138 yards. 75 of those 38 yards was against the third string cornerbacks for the Houston Texans. He threw 2 picks. One of them was a pick six. It was not exactly the way what you wanted to see as a Giants fan from Daniel Jones coming off the injury in his first preseason. He's not going to play again. They play the Jets next Saturday. He's not playing again. So this was it. Next time he steps on that field, it's going to be against the Vikings in week 1. And it's got to be better than this, right? I don't know how much better it's going to be than this, though. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. The Giants, we could sit here and we could scream and yell about the contract they gave him. They gave him all this money, and what are they doing? That's done. The ink is dry on the contract. It's over. He's the quarterback. And the Giants are not going anywhere with him as the quarterback. I've been saying this for years. He's just not very good, right? This is now 5 years in. He had the fumbling issues to begin with. Then the injury issues came on. When he's healthy, he's not very good. Clearly now, when you look at the full swath of his Giants career, the playoff season was an anomaly. That's all you can say. I'm not saying they got lucky. They had a good, but that's obviously the outlier. It was Dable's first year. Maybe it was the new voice in the locker room. Either way. I mean, yesterday was it was bad, scary bad. And I get it. He had the good drive late in the half, no huddle down the field, led him to a field goal, but that's not going to cut it. That's not who you're playing against when they play for real. Those are the third stringers. Daniel Jones had 3 series against the first string defense for the Houston Texans. He went 3 and out, interception, interception. One of them, the first one was a pick six. 0 completions to Neighbors. In the first 3 and out drive, he targeted Neighbors twice, both incomplete. I mean, this is not good. And the focus this year here in New York is going to be on the Jets. And if the Giants start slow and things go off the rails quickly, it's going to go 100% to the Jets. And what you're going to do is you're going to see the Giants get talked about when Saquon comes back on October 20th. Giants open up 3 weeks from yesterday, 1 o'clock at home against the Minnesota Vikings, a decimated, injury-ridden Minnesota Vikings. Then they go to Washington, to Cleveland. Then they're home to the Cowboys, home to the Seahawks, and home to the Bengals. They better get a good start here. And to me, looking at this schedule, it looks like it could be 2-6. 2-6 is not going to be good. The Giants have a lot of issues. Now, and there's no more complaining about the offensive line either. The offensive line looks like it's improved. We know they tried to improve it. They worked to improve it. They did improve it. Daniel Jones had time back there. The excuses are not going to cut it this year. He's making big money. He's 5 years into his NFL career. This is who he is. And that he holds the ball too long. He doesn't know when to pull the trigger. He fumbles the ball when he runs. He's injury prone. Just look at yesterday. That second interception was almost as bad as the one. The pick six was obviously terrible. Okay, he held onto the ball too long. He had him open right away. He didn't throw it. Couldn't pull the trigger. Then when he did, he threw it behind him, and it was walked into the end zone by the Houston Texans. The second one was a go route down the right sideline, and he completely underthrew him by about 2 yards. Interception going the other way. This team is going to go as Daniel Jones goes, whether you like it or not. You can talk all you want about Neighbors, who looks like he's going to be a decent receiver. You know, when they isolate the camera on him and you watch him run his routes and his footwork, it looks good. But you got to get him the ball. Now, Drew Lock looked good when he played in the first week. Again, it's the first week of preseason. You don't know. I'd almost give him a chance. You got to have a short leash on Daniel Jones because the seasons for the Giants lately have just gotten spun out of control early with these horrendous starts. 1-8, 0-5 every year. And if you do that again, Dable's going to lose his job. Daniel Jones is going to find himself without a job. And then you start all over looking for a quarterback. And for those of you who are the Tommy DeVito section of the crowd, just stop with it. You saw the second half. If you saw the second half, it was terrible. He fumbled. He can't throw the ball. He's not a quarterback. Stop with Tommy DeVito. He's the third-string quarterback. And if Tommy DeVito plays, the Giants season is over. Drew Lock, I could see maybe giving him a chance, but he's not going to start. The Giants just gave all this money to Daniel Jones. He's the quarterback. He's either got to figure it out, or this season is going to go down the drain fast. Because if they're 2-6 after 8 weeks, coming up on Halloween, the season is over. And the Giants seasons sometimes lately have been over before the Mets and Yankees season ended. And that's where you headed this year. Just look at these passes he throws. They're not even close. The pick six was highly alarming. He's getting time to throw the ball. He doesn't read defense as well. He doesn't have a great arm. Yeah, he can run. He's a mobile quarterback, but that's when the injuries pop up. So I don't know what the Giants are going to do. I don't think it was the right decision to sign him, but like I said, it's not even worth arguing about that because the ink is dry on the contract. It's a done deal. It's over. He's the quarterback. They improved the offensive line. The defense looks okay. Okay. Right? It's not a shutdown defense. This is not a shutdown Giants defense. This is not the Giants defenses that we grew up with. They're an okay defense. They're going to be better than last year. When they were an okay defense last year. So they'll be an above average defense. The offensive line looks like it might hold, right? Anything's an improvement from the previous Giants offensive lines, which was just a walking false start, a walking holding penalty, and a walking sack. But as far as this team going anywhere this year in this division, and you got the Redskins who are the Commanders who are improved, you got Dallas who's a good team, and you got Philadelphia who's the favorite. And now they got Saquon Barkley. Now, I don't know how good Saquon's going to be. He'll probably be pretty good this year. You know, he hasn't really hit that peak where he starts to go downhill. When running backs hit that peak and they go downhill, it goes pretty fast. But as far as the Giants go, it's not looking promising. And like I said, that's it for Daniel Jones. He got 3 series. He played the whole half. He played 3 series against the starters. 3 and out, interception. Then when the backups came in, he started doing all right. That's not what you wanted to see. Highly, highly worrisome if you're the Giants. There's been reports out of camp that he's been bad in camp. This was the first time we really saw him, live action. And it was nothing. It was terrible. The decision-making is still something that you see out of rookies. To throw that pass in the shadow of your own goal line into the way he threw it, and I get it, it's a safety if you get taken down there. It's a safety if you get an intentional grounding. But 2 points is better than 6. So they play the Jets next week. That's going to be a nothing game. You're not going to really see any of the starters. I don't even know if you're going to see any of the starters for the Giants. Reports out of camp is that Daniel Jones wasn't good in camp, so it's not like the reports were like, oh, he's playing well in camp, he's doing well, and then he went out there yesterday and he just had a bad day. It's more like he wasn't good in camp, he hasn't been good in camp, and then that was more of the same yesterday. It was just on national TV, and he's getting slaughtered by the fans on social media. He's getting slaughtered by the media, and what are you going to say? What's good to say? Okay, he's coming off the injury. You know what? We don't want to hear it. We don't have time for that. You got Minnesota, Cleveland, the Commanders, the Cowboys, Seahawks, Bengals. That's how they open. The only wins that I can see there, the Seahawks, you could beat the Seahawks. You could beat the Vikings because they're decimated. And maybe you get lucky and you beat the Commanders, but that's on the road. And that's a 3-3 start. So I don't see good things from the Giants this year. I have them at 7 or 8 wins. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think there's parts of this team that's improved. The offensive line is improved. I think the receiver, I think Neighbors is going to be a good receiver, but I don't think Jones is the guy to throw the ball to him. We'll see. Hopefully they prove me wrong. But I just don't see it. I mean, how bad can Daniel Jones be, right? He can't be much worse than yesterday. But if we get what we saw yesterday, then the Giants are in trouble. So that's what's going on with the Giants. We'll be back later to talk about the Mets as they start a big series home against the Baltimore Orioles before they head out west for an even bigger 2 series. 10 games, important for the Mets. That's the Giants report here on Locked Up Sports. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studio. See ya.